Close our eyes quickly. Take a big breath in. Let it all out. Breathe in all the things you're grateful for, all the wonderful things in life. Breathe out the worries, the doubts. Opening your mind and your heart to all that the universe has for you, has in store for you, all the blessings. And out all the things that can hold you back from those blessings. And I want you to be mindful of what things come into your mind as we talk about this, as you're breathing, as you're being open to what the world has to tell you. Acknowledge those thoughts. What comes into your mind? You can keep your eyes closed, you can open them, it's up to you. I love that we get to have this. I love that we get to meet each week and we get to work out, we get to sweat, some of us more than others. I just like to be best at everything, so if I'm going to sweat, I'm going to be the best sweater. And I think I did it. And the two of you who were in the Mind, Body, Spirit Challenge with me, well, some of this is, what we're beginning with is something we talked about in that class already. But I want you to think about what you're experiencing right now. What are the things that surround you? The gym, the church, basketball hoops, speakers, the floor. Somebody had to have an idea of these things first. It had to start with somebody's brain saying, wow, now we're going to build this church building outside of town. And somebody had to think about that before it was ever laid. And I think there was like a trench behind the church when it started. There was no houses, no nothing out here 9 years ago. And then they had to think about, somebody came up with an idea, we should have a gym that is attached to the church, that belongs to the church, and that it also belongs to the city. But somebody had to come up with this idea. The athletic wear that you're wearing right now, somebody had to say, wow, it'd be really cool if I had some really, really tight underwear that would keep you all together. Somebody had to think about that. Somebody's like, let's put some swirls and some stripes and some cool patterns on and let's market it to all the females everywhere. Let's make shoes in all kinds of colors. It's really crazy how big our imaginations can be. You know, you think about when you're a little child and you're fighting dragons and you're climbing mountains and you know, your imagination just is huge. Nothing can stop you from that. And somehow, through time, we stop using that imagination, I think. And I think some people are prone to get rid of it more than others. And that's, to me, that's where people are lost, when they stop imagining and creating. You know, Lacey today did a great job, and I know that many of us create workouts. That has to start out here before it's a real thing. So anything you see and everything you experience started in somebody's brain first. And so I'm just thinking about that. What are you thinking about? When I said breathe in, breathe out, what are the blessings that come into your mind? When we talk about goals, you want to have this kind of lifestyle, or you want to have this kind of body, or you want to have this kind of energy, or you want to have this kind of job, or this kind of life, what do you think about? Do you know the details of what it looks like and what it feels like? Do you know what it feels like to be healthy? Can you imagine in your brain? You know, I'm obviously here, I'm talking to the healthiest people I know, the fittest people I know, most beautiful people I know, but then what's next? And if we're not starting it here, it has no ability to be creative. When we started this, I think you guys were at this very first fit camp in last fall. And already months before I started, I already had an idea of what I wanted this class to look like. And I think the first week I talked about, this is what you're being part of, this is what we're creating. Imagine having 30 people, which we've done. Imagine having 50 people, imagine having 100 people. And now we're coming into the summer, and I think it's time to recreate, but now instead of it just being me, I need you guys to have imagination. I need you guys to join with me in this vision, because if we can't do that together, it's not going to happen. And so I started thinking about the things that I think are funny that have been created. So I looked up funniest creations or inventions, and I thought of things. And one of the first ones that I thought of was the Snuggie. Whether you're pro or con, somebody's like, you know, in the bar drinking their beer, and they're like, you know what'd be nice? I want a blanket that's also my pajamas. So that way I don't have to decide. And then I found this one. It's called the wine rack. And it's literally a sports bra that has wine and a like spout that you can drink from your rack, your wine rack.
I'm offering.
And there's a Thai flask as well that I found. So, you know, not being sexist here. And another one of my favorites is the shake weight. Like what? Somebody's all of a sudden like, you know what would be really nice? If this could be a workout. And all of a sudden, I bet you millions of these things have been sold because of somebody's 2 million? Your mom bought 2, our mom has one. In fact, sorry if mom watches this, but Lacey and mom had a long conversation about how these things worked at Christmas one year, and I was dying. And then another one, and this will be my last one, the bidet. Hey, you know what would be really great? If I didn't have to wipe. So, there would be a toilet that just did it for me. And they're huge. You go to Europe, they're everywhere. I cannot say I have not tried it. But somebody had to think about that, and just think about how crazy awesome our brains are and the ability to create. Being attached to a church here, I know we've talked about this in a class before too, but coming from our Creator, being created by our Creator, who is the Creator, I know this is a lot of the same word, but we're created in His image, and He's a Creator. So to me, that means that I have this opportunity to never stop creating, to never stop imagining, to never stop visioning what my life can be, what my life can do for others, and that's why we're here. And that's why we have this portion where we talk with our brains. We talk about what's going on up here, because if we don't have that, nothing else happens. And that's why this is so important to me that we get to do this. So the things that I want you to think about is, what do you want this community to look like as we go through summer? Obviously the last couple of weeks it's been nicer, and there have been fewer and fewer people. That's not coincidence, that's just how the world works. For church as well. I know that when the summer's here, everybody goes to the lakes. But I can't just make these decisions, because then it'll be me working out for myself, which is pretty embarrassing. I need you guys to help me with those things. When should we meet? How often should we meet? What can we do? Should we go and do community service? Should we go out and talk to people in the area? Should we have volleyball games? Should we be outside? Should we be camping? Should we be... What can we do as a healthy, active, positive community as we go into the summer? And it doesn't stop here. Our brains are just starting to tick now about this. But I challenge you. You know, Jim Rohn always says, each of us needs all of us, and all of us needs each of us. And this is a very individual thing in how I'm here to get in the best shape of my life, and I'm not comparing myself to others, because I was created very uniquely, and I'm just challenged to do my best. But it's also, I can't do that without you, and you can't do that without me. And so as we go today, I want you to be thinking about, what can we do? I love having these small groups. There's nothing wrong with that. but I also know how much it matters to me and how much it can matter to the people who have not reached yet, to the people we have yet to impact. So great job today. Everybody pushed it, and I just appreciate you guys so much. So thank you, and we are going to put through a gratitude circle.